Do you hate training legs? Do they look like sticks? Did you train legs last time before the great financial crisis in 2008? Look, I hated training legs also for like majority of my weightlifting journey until I realized, and it will sound so simple, until I realized that you really don't have to hate them. I know it sounds so weird and simple, but you really don't have to hate your leg days. And most people hate training legs just because of the few exercises, and because sometimes you just act like a bitch, right? Let's be honest here. Sometimes you just act like a bitch. So in this video, I want to rank my leg exercises that are basically based on my own preference, which ones I like, which ones I don't, and I will briefly explain my opinion so you can, adjust your own leg training routine based on your own judgment. So let's start with most popular one, right? Barbell squat. That's a C tier. Most hated leg exercise by everyone, so really poor public sentiment right there. Main problem, I think, is high barrier for entry. Now, if you're a beginner, you should stay away from barbell squats for as long as possible and stay away as far as possible, right? I even see some intermediate lifters, like who like have a solid frame, like solid physique. They've been working out for 2-3 years. They most likely know what they're doing, but they're actually doing squats with very poor form, not going to failure. And that is actually another problem, right? You can't really go to failure unless you put a safety racks from your left side and from your right side. But even then, when you go to failure, you drop the weight, right? Okay, you're good. But then you have to pick the barbell and put it back on the safety rack, right? You just have to lift the barbell, and for barbell squats, you will do like really heavy weight, right? So it's really very difficult to put it back up. And in between sets of squats, you really need to get that rest, because it is actually very demanding. It's very demanding exercise, both mentally and physically, unless you're training with a partner who will help you lift that up, but that's most likely not the case for you. Also, there's a big risk of injury, specifically for lower back. So if you have a painful lower back, like don't even try to do this exercise, because you will just make it worse. It just also unenjoyable movement. Like, I don't really like the way it feels. Like, my whole body gets like very very hot, and I feel like it's not this. It's not. I'm just not getting this feeling. Yeah, this is my exercise. I'm just not. It just unsustainable for me, because I don't like it, and I understand why most people don't like it. Then we have a Romanian deadlift. That's a B tier. Actually, it's a great exercise for hamstrings and glutes, and it also targets your lower back and your upper traps, and also your forearms, right? Because you will most likely use a heavy weight. It's quite easy to do a progressive overload, so it's a great exercise. Problem is that your forearms actually can be a bottleneck to progress further, and you can drop the weight before reaching a failure just because of weak grip. That's what can happen. Another issue is higher risk of lower back injuries. If you have a painful lower back, don't even try to do this, or it will just get worse. But if you don't have these two problems, right? If you don't have a painful lower back, and if you don't drop the weight too early because of weak grip, then it's actually a great exercise. It's an S tier. I love this exercise. I'm doing it all the time. I think it's amazing, really. Then we have lunges. That's a C tier. I don't even remember when was the last time I've been actively doing lunges. Overall, it just sucks for leg development. You constantly have to focus on stability and maintaining your core upright. You can't really go for a high weight, and I don't really see any intermediate or advanced lifters doing this exercise. I just don't see that. I remember back in high school, um, I found this one workout program which was involving lunges. It was actually a lunge drop set. Yeah, it was a lunge drop set where you take dumbbells, you take two dumbbells, you do lunges, you do like 12 reps for each leg, then you drop one dumbbell immediately, and immediately do like another 8 to 10 reps with one dumbbell, so like half the weight. I remember it was so difficult. And back in high school, like whenever I was working out, sometimes I was training like a bitch, man. I was training like a bitch. I hated all the pain, I was never really pushing myself hard enough. I was using like very light weight, so it wasn't really a training for hypertrophy, it was like a cardio. And I just didn't have the mental capacity to actually train hard. And I remember this exercise, like this lunge drop set, was so painful. I wanted to throw up each time. Just after one set, I felt like I will throw up right now. It was so bad, it was so difficult, like my lower back hurts, my knees hurt. I really thought I will throw up. I will throw up and pass out right there on the floor. It was so bad. And I remember I introduced this exercise to my friend. We were doing it together. We were doing this together, and he called this lunge drop set. He called it the he called it the most disgusting exercise ever. And it is really disgusting. I hate lunges, and specifically that time when we were in high school doing this, it was really so disgusting. Okay, anyways. Then we have leg press. That's a B tier. That's a B tier right there. Now, look, it's not a bad exercise, but it's not a good one either, right? For me personally, that's a C tier. But it's only because I have long legs, and for everyone with long legs, I think for everyone above average height, I'm like 6'1". For everyone just at least above average height, this exercise will be uncomfortable. No, I really don't like the sitting position. I don't really like sitting in that position where the weight is like pressed against me. You also get a higher risk of lower back injury if your butt lifts off the seat, and it will really happen to everyone who is tall. So I really don't like this exercise. You have a belt squat. I'm not sure if it's called belt squat, but that's how I called it. That's S tier. S tier easily. It's the king. It's the king of all squats. My favorite exercise for training legs by far. If it's my leg day, which is on Fridays, and I see you using this machine with some funny ass weight, like 1 or 2 plates, you will be flying out of the gym immediately. You will be flying out of there. I'm not even kidding. That's actually what happened once. Friday evening, I'm coming to the gym to train legs, all excited and shit. And I'm usually doing like 180 kilos, which is like, I think it's like 400 pounds. It's 400 pounds. And I see there are 2 girls at this machine doing something like 20 kilos. 20 kilograms, which is like 45 pounds. Of course, I understand. I am a man. They're like little girls. Actually, they were older than me. I think they're like 28. Anyways. Okay, I understand they are girls, but it doesn't justify doing the weight that is like 9 times lower. 9 times smaller weight. It doesn't make sense. I really got so pissed at that time. But I thought, okay, I'm already in the gym. I'm not gonna waste my time. So what am I gonna do? Okay, I will do leg press. I've done 1 set of leg press. And I feel, oh damn. my lower back hurts because my butt was lifting off on every rep. I thought, okay, like Edwin, like don't be a bitch. That was the first set. First set is always the most difficult one. Just do another set. It will definitely be easier. It wasn't easier. I fucked up my lower back even worse. And it was so actually painful. It was difficult for me to walk. And I thought, okay, my lower back really hurts, but I'm already in the gym. I already drove up here, I already changed, I already done my warm-up. I can't be a bitch and just go home. I just can't do that. So what I've done like 3 or 4 sets of hip thrust. And at that point, my lower back was just on fire. My lower back was on fire. I drove home. Next day, I woke up and I couldn't really stand up from my bed. I couldn't really stand up. It was hurting so much. It was Saturday, right? On Saturday, it hurted so much. On Sunday, it hurted a lot. On Monday, it was just very painful. On Tuesday, it was uncomfortable most of the time. And on Wednesday, it was like fine. On Wednesday, it was like already fine. And on Thursday, I was okay. I'm good. I can hit legs again. So that's my story of why I hate leg press and why I hate people doing belt squats with funny ass weight when it's my leg day. Next one, we have hack squats. That's a C tier. Can't really explain it. I just don't like the way it feels. My knees hurt. I get very uncomfortable at the bottom, so it just sucks. Maybe I'll give it another try in the future and we'll change my opinion. But for now, I don't like it. My butt also lifts off from the seat, not as often as in leg press, but it's still uncomfortable movement. Hip thrust. Hip thrust, easy S tier, amazing exercise. It's the king of glutes and hamstrings. It feels amazing, you can overload easily. Every muscle mommy will look at you if you can do a heavy weight, and I can do like 180 kilos and it's like 400 pounds, and it's actually getting too easy for me. I can do 400 pounds, which is twice my weight for like 15 reps. So it's already too easy for me. And trust me, girls, they love a man who has a nice big butt. Just trust me on this one. And also the feeling at the top, the feeling of like squeezing all the muscle at the top, it just feels so awesome. Really great exercise. I absolutely love this. Then you have a hip abduction machine. Look, like it's good if you're a girl, right? But for men, I don't really think you need that. If you hit heavy hip thrust properly, then you don't have to do hip abduction at all. So it would be kind of like a waste of time. Additionally, you can reach the maximum weight stack pretty easily, and then you just have nowhere to progress for. So that's a B tier. Then you have calf raises. I think it's a B. That's a B tier. You know, there are like thousands of different variations, but the best one for me is where you stand on one leg and you have a dumbbell in your hands, right? Most people will do the exercise on a Smith machine or like regular machine where you're seated with both legs, but you will just basically waste your time. Look, if you weigh 80 kilograms, it means your single leg, your single calf is on a constant basis gets a load of 80 kilograms. And most people train their calves on a seated machine with like 40 kilograms on both legs. That means you get like 20 kilograms of load per one leg, which is 3 to 4 times less pressure than you get just by walking. Do you understand that? Smith, I think it's a bit better because you also add your own weight, but everyone does Smith with 2 legs. So unless you put at least your own weight on the bar, then it's kind of good, but you will waste so much time on this. So in my opinion, it's the best way to do this is standing on a elevated platform with a single leg and with grabbing some sort of weight. So it's a B tier because I really think calves are mostly genetic dependent. You know, you can train calves as much as you want, but they won't grow as for someone who doesn't train them, but is, for example, fat and has like good genetics for calves specifically. I think you would need to train them like 4 or 5 times per week to get a proper calf development, or just do like daily incline treadmill walk. So really, I've just stopped training calves completely. I've stopped training them completely. Instead of that, after each workout, I'm doing like 20 minutes of incline treadmill walk. And right there, by doing that walk, it actually trains my calves a lot. I can feel them burning all the time. I have a front squat. I think that's the first exercise for D tier. You know, it has all of the drawbacks of regular squat, but additionally, it's even worse. Like, it's more difficult to keep the bar, both for beginners and advanced lifters. It feels painful to keep it on your shoulders, right? It's just uncomfortable. And you have to focus even more on stabilizing your body. Your wrist hurts. It's just the worst exercise. Man, it's just the worst exercise you can do. If you're doing front squats, like, you're an idiot. Don't do the exercise. So you have leg extension. It's a good one, right? It's a good one. Beginners who hate training legs seem to don't mind leg extensions because, I mean, it's like a bitch exercise for legs, right? It's kind of a bitchy exercise. If you can't stand the pain of training legs and you just do leg extension, I think you're kind of being a bitch, to be honest. But I can't blame you. I'm also doing leg extensions, but I'm doing it at the end of my workout when I've already done my main heavy compound movements. I think it's a solid, you know, for isolating your quads specifically. But it's not an S tier because it has a weight stack limit that usually goes around 100 kilograms in most of the gyms, right? The max you can do is 100 kilograms, and you can actually achieve this pretty quickly. It's not that difficult, so that is the drawback. Then you have leg curls. You can do both seated and laying down on your stomach. It's a difficult one, but I will think it's probably B. I think it's a B tier. No, same as with leg extensions, it's friendly for beginners. You know, it offers stability. But the same problem with weight limit. It's not usually that much. Laying leg curls, right? I think they have better activation for hamstrings, but puts you into kind of a submissive position, if you know what I mean, right? Seated leg curl, you know, it fixes that problem, but on the other side, the muscle activation is not that good. So I hope this was helpful. That's my ranking. Look, main point is that you don't have to hate your leg exercises. You don't have to hate your leg day. You don't. Just switch to exercises which you like instead of doing the exercises that you hate. Oh, like barbell squat. I definitely have to do barbell squat, but I hate barbell squat, so I will not do leg training for 2 years. I will not because of the barbell squat, and barbell squat has to be in my workout. Like, fucking think with at least half of your brain. You can switch stuff. Training legs is actually enjoyable, you know. The feeling of pump in your quads and in your glutes is amazing. Train legs.